So my goal is not to just buck him out, right? He wants to slow down. Amazing. Cool. That is like the best response you can get. So I'll put a little bit of pressure, just enough to see kind of what he's going to feel. That is the best case scenario. But this is something that I like to do with all of them, because you don't necessarily need to be halter broke for it. You can get a gauge of what you have before you ever start, really. Look at that. See how he's tipping to the outside? So this is the only situation where I want one to tip to the outside, because he's giving to pressure, right? He says, after all that about not going to the outside, I'm not trying to get it under his tail. I'm not trying to get crazy. And when he gives me the desired response, which, like, basically everything he's doing here is the desired response, because he's not wigged out about it. He's not worried about it touching him. He's not kicking at it. I want him to pay attention to me, though. But his slowing down, awesome. His, in this particular case, tipping to the outside is fantastic. If I can ask him to turn around to the outside, then that would be great. But what a good-minded colt. Holy cow. You know, colts aren't supposed to act like this. Yeah, like, usually it at least startles them.
Horse has a ton amount of trust. I noticed that from the beginning.
Look at that lick and chew. Good boy. Sweet boy. Just got a pile of brains. Good. Good boy. You're a sweet boy. He wants to draw in, but I'm going to move him back out to the other side. See if I can do this side. Maybe. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Kind of let him pack it around a little before I put any pressure on him. And if he just trots off flat, that's the answer. Moving off flat is the answer here. If he wants to slow down, that's great, I'll reward that. And if he wants to tip to the outside, in this situation, I will reward that. He's gonna speed up. It's almost kind of tough to gauge when to release him, because everything he's doing is desirable. He's gonna dink around a little bit. My round pen isn't round. You'll see me adjust my rope length pretty much constantly. So I don't want to get it, I mean, if it got under his tail, that's fine. But I'm not going to put a tremendous amount of pressure under there, because this rope will burn him up, and I don't want to burn him. I want to be able to play with my rope a little. He doesn't care about anything. Like, no, he's cool. If he wants to lope a little, that's fine. I'm actually kind of impressed that he's so willing to lope, because that can be a really hard thing for a colt in here. Says, oh, I was looking at that pretty mare over there. He's not real interested in thinking right here, so he can work a little. Pibby. Pibby's instigating. She says, watch this, I can mess up the colt. Hey. Job, buddy. Hey. Boy. Good boy. What are you doing? Hi. You got stuff touching ya? What the heck? What the heck, bud? Good. Boy. Oh, yes. I still want him paying attention to me. And I'm not gonna purposely be rude with the rope, but I will be kind of surprising. Like, I'll slap it off the ground or make the movement of it kind of not aggressive, just more lively. And I'm not acting like I'm gonna beat the crap out of him. And with how he is, I'm gonna do fronts too. Like, if you had one that was really snaky or wild or something, they might strike at that. I'm gonna correct him a little more heavily on gawking also. Good boy. So when they disengage, you want the near side hind leg. I don't want that shoulder stepping into me. You want the near side hind leg to step underneath his body. So in this case, I want the left rear to go underneath his body in front of the right rear, like that. At this point, even if it's just one step, that's golden. Hey. When I click, it means move, and move forward. So I use the word back for backing, and I click to go forward, and I kiss to lope. I don't know exactly how you do it, but I'll never click to go backwards. Yeah. Yep.
I didn't even think about it, but I think that's what I do.
Hey. But we'll do it again on this side, just so all our bases are covered. I don't currently have a bag. I need to build one. But he'd be really fun to do the bag with.
What do you do with the bag?
The bag is just a feed sack with a little bit of dirt and some hay in it to give it a little bit of body and weight on probably a 30-foot line. And the bag, I'll just show you, but you throw it over their back and under their belly to you and ask them to lunge out on a circle and drag it. It simulates dragging a calf, basically. And then once they're good with that, you can throw it over their back, and they have to deal with you in one eye and the bag in the other eye. There's a whole pile of things you can do. You can get it all up in their back legs. Usually I'll treat it like it's the flag. I'll go up to them and I'll show them that they can be touched by it, and I'll drag it in front of them while I'm leading them, and then I'll do that. Kind of make it steps so it's not a huge surprise. But there's some stuff that he needs to learn before we do that. So we showed him how to disengage. So this is the beginning of teaching one to lunge, right? So I pick a direction, put pressure into him, and I want forward movement. And at this point, if he just gives me a few steps and then disengages and faces me up again, that's perfect. But I'm not going to yield to him. I'm always going to step to him. And he doesn't need to wing out on the end of the line. That'll be kind of a hard thing. He doesn't necessarily need to trot. If he just walked, that'd be fine. That's really good right there. He's got his head tipped into me. So the ideal circle, you've got the horse out on the circle, whatever distance it ends up being, and just like that, the head, shoulder, and hip are the same distance from you. That's beautiful right there for being asked to lunge for the first time 30 seconds prior. He says, whoa. Very nice. That was a really good couple steps right there when he first started off. This colt is ridiculous, Marty. If you practice this on the ground, when you get on him and you ask for it, he'll know what you're asking for. And they're just that much faster because they already know what you want. So that's pretty decent. So we'll try this side. And if he didn't have any will in coming off of his face, I could put pressure on this shoulder or in his girth area where I would cue him eventually under saddle and poke him, or if he was really being a butthole, I could smack him with my rope if I needed a lot of energy. But if you have those 4 quarters going for you and you can disengage one, see, he considered stepping in right there, and then he went, oh, I better not do that. That was really nice. But if you can move your hinds and your fronts, there he moved hinds when I was looking for his right front. That's okay. He says, dude, I can't be perfect all the time. I just started. If I ask for him to back, I'll give him a second to respond to just a very, very light touch. But if he doesn't respond, I will continually increase pressure until I get what I'm looking for. And the second I get what I'm looking for, I quit. And with him, where he is right now, it's just a step, a lean even. Like, good. Hinds, and then you can step in and get the fronts. He doesn't want any pressure on his head. I really like how soft he is purposely trying to be. He's really trying hard here. So I'll switch hands, shoot down my rope, I'll pick him up and I'll wait for that hip to get right. And then I'll ask for his fronts to come across. And he needs to keep going. So same thing. I'll shoot down my rope, and I'll pick up his head. I'll wait for his hip to get right, wait for him to get soft. I don't want him crowding me here, so I'll just push him off. He wants to get a little quick about it. Once he comes back, then his fronts. And it's a try now, not 2 weeks later sort of thing. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. He's almost acting like he's gimpy with that head. With the way he's bobbing his head. But I'm not sure if that's just his excessive amount of effort here. Or if he's hurt. Hey. There you go. That was good. I don't want him to just lean out there. What if I suck back? Then you can't get me. Haha! I have defeated you. You're all right. He says, I swear you're going to kick my butt every time I come in here. And I try not to be biased on which side I'll come into to love on. Yep. Psst. Good. He tries hard all the time. There. Give him more rope, see what he does. He says, haha, I am free. So, if he just goes out on the circle and travels here, then that's super cool, because like he's never lunged before, right? So that's a lot. He doesn't need to play poker on his first session. All right, let's trot. But you don't get to bull. You're a bull. Or you're a colt, not a bull. I like that he wants to come into me versus going out, but he also needs to move out. I don't like that he's putting his head up in the air, so I'm going to correct that. Psst. Look for a good spot and we'll quit this lunging for now. I like that he wants to be soft, but he doesn't need to have his head tipped into me that much. He says I can be a Western pleasure horse. There you go. That was a little better.